is called There's Nothing I'd Rather Be Doing. This is Thoughts from 5D. I'm Otis 5D. So, it's Christmas Eve and Merry Christmas and all that. And, I was just thinking about okay, so I'm doing this on Christmas Eve. Like normal people are like, okay, so you take a holiday break and so on. And I don't know. I don't even want to take it. Like the last thing on my mind is that literally the only reason I would want to take a break is because I think I come off as weird. I'm like a weird, I'm like some kind of, I don't know. Is loser the right? Loser's not the right word. Freak? Yeah, freak. I'm like a weird freak where it's like, wait, why are you doing this on Christmas Eve? Shouldn't you be doing something else? And I just kept thinking there's nothing I'd rather be doing than this. Just period. It's very funny because I have, I think I've never been this unsuccessful at something that I've tried really hard at, and so it's funny. There's a humorous, at least when I'm in a good mood, there's something humorous about the fact that I love this and I'm actually trying. I don't know how well I'm trying, but I am trying, and crickets more or less. And nevertheless, there's nothing I'd rather be doing this. I happened to listen to a podcast today with Ali Abdaal, who, if you guys don't know, he's like a, I don't know, 5-10 million YouTube subscriber, productivity guy. And good guy. I like this guy, British guy. And he has this podcast he does sometimes with his brother called Don't Overthink It or something. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But it's basically just a therapy session. And he's talking to his brother. His brother's a startup founder or something, about his kind of existential crises. And it was very interesting because his existential crises were more or less the same as mine, just this fundamental ambivalence about anything. The difference, of course, is that what he's doing, he's making if he just does nothing, he's making $1 million a year on his content career. So in that level, in that sense, he's in a completely different stratosphere than myself. But nevertheless, when he comes up with these quarterly things to push himself forward. And his brother was basically dude, you can only do that for so long. Try to come up with these extrinsic, carrots to push yourself forward. You really need to find something that's an internal burning passion. And he was just kind of ambivalent about all of it. And his brother was talking about how he's passionate about, pushing Islam into the kind of newfound openness to religion and spirituality all over the world, and that he feels Islam is not part of that. Anyway, these are all kind of fairly random divergences, but the point was more or less as I'm listening, I'm wow, I'm so lucky. I know exactly what I want to be doing, and I keep thinking with what I'm doing. Because I'm so unsuccessful currently, there is this feeling of is this a sign that I should be doing something else? And I just keep thinking to myself, but what if this works? What if somehow I'm able to snatch victory out of the jaws of defeat and I don't give up and I keep working and I get some lucky breaks and I keep showing up and I pivot a little bit and I figure out something and I do something randomly one day, could be today, and a couple people respond finally and they're like, dude, that was pretty cool. You should do another thing like that. I'd like to watch that. And then it's oh, okay. And, you just kind of follow the breadcrumbs. And the other thing that I would say is that something that has come to me more and more, we'll see, famous last words. I'm always changing. So famous last words is that I feel increasingly happy about the idea of being a super niche creator, meaning that I have a small but devoted cult audience. And I feel I'm prone to that anyway because I'm so weird that I'm just not everybody's cup of tea. It's not like fucking Heidely Ho neighbor up in this bitch. And I have never particularly been comfortable with that in the past. But the reason I was thinking about it is because my views are so singular. And I don't really mean that. I think that could come off as like super egotistical or whatever, but I really just mean it somewhat like factually, in the sense that like I'm a super tech person, but I'm a super art person, but I'm a super spiritual new age person with aliens and everything, but I'm a super right wing person, but I'm a super conspiracy theorist, but I'm like super into hip hop, but I'm like super into fitness and health and longevity. And so, you know, I'm not saying like I'm the only person like that, but there's certainly, I don't easily fit into some like woke or anti-woke or tech bro or, you know, any of it really, as far as I can tell. But I feel like I feel like I'm skating where the puck is going. That's genuinely how I feel, because as things like AI come online and potentially things like UBI, people are going to just be wondering like, what the fuck do I do with my life? And to me, there's always art, there's always self-expression, there's always creativity. And I do feel like a lot of these tech bro people are sort of like stunted artists, that they're so embarrassed to dance, they're so embarrassed to have swag, they're so embarrassed to like make beats or, you know, whatever it is. But I think we're going to start seeing stuff like that. Like I even remember years ago, I think it was Austin Allred, who's like a big Twitter tech bro guy. I think he was talking about how he was on Steezy, which are my homies who have like this dance instructional startup. Still dope, Steezy.co. Fuck with those guys. What up, Evan? And he was like, yeah, I'm doing this Boogie Frantic tutorial. And I was like, damn, what the fuck? That's my whole other life. You know, what is a tech bro talking about Boogie Frantic? And so I do think that there's going to be some overlap. But, you know, like skating where the puck is going is, I don't know. It's like, there's a part of me that wants to fit in. And I think that's probably my cross to bear, so to speak. Like, you know, Jung talks about individuation. Like, this is probably part of my individuation process, is to just accept that I don't fit in, and rather than like, I'm so sorry I don't fit in, just like embrace it and, you know, build around myself. That's the other thing. I have a fundamental low self-esteem thing that, like, if I build something around myself, like, no one will show up. And that has historically been the case. Like, people don't seem to actually really like to follow me when I'm like, hey, follow me. Like, no one comes. And the success I've had has primarily been like as an outsider commentating on a bunch of things that a lot of people are interested in. But, you know, I've never really had the audacity, at least in my own mind, to be that guy, like in the famous video where there's the one crazy guy like dancing on the hill and then like a bunch of people join in. But I think I don't have anything left but that, because there's nothing I'd rather be doing than this on any given day of a human existence. And my opinions are going to alienate me from people. Like, I'm alienated from hardcore corners because, you know, I'm into NFTs, and I'm alienated from hardcore, like, you know, right-wing tech bros because I talk about the Jews and because I'm a super hardcore anti-vaxxer. And I don't know. You know, I don't know. But anyway, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse that I'm beating a lot lately, but c'est la vie. Point being, there's nothing I'd rather be doing than this. And that is a really important realization, because there's a part of me, well, who was I listening to? It was Carl Craig. See, like, this is, if people know who Carl Craig is, like, salute to you. I was listening to this video of Carl Craig giving like production tips. And he was saying that he always would carry around a photo of 15-year-old Carl Craig in his wallet and look at it and like try to make that kid proud. Like, you did it. You fucking did it, right? And so I really feel like I did it. You know, when I look back, it's like I've carved out this thing, knock on wood, for myself, and I finally am doing exactly what I would be doing if I could do anything. And I always remember throughout my life, people would ask me, what do you do? And whatever I happened to be doing at that time, I was always like, this isn't what I do. You know, like I would be trying to, even if I was having success at it, I'd be like, I like wouldn't want to answer the question. And now I don't even know how to answer the question, but I would love to answer. If anybody would let me talk about it, I would like to talk about it at length, because this is exactly what I would be doing. So I guess the moral of this story is that I just, you know, it's like, be the change you wish to see in the world. I really feel like in this particular aspect of my existence, I really am being the change I wish to see in the world. And I'm so scared, to be honest with you, that this is going to, like, you know, this is very arrogant and not humble enough, and I'm just gonna get fucking smacked down by God, who's like, oh, it real good, you got it real good, huh? And then, you know, I the next day I make a video about how like everything went to shit. So, you know, somehow I feel like those who know do not speak, those who speak do not know, and, you know, I'm sure speaking a lot. So anyway, Merry Christmas and go fuck yourself. Peace.
Otis5D.xyz